Welcome to Maths with Paru. In this video, I shall be discussing a question from January 2021, P2, and it's question 4. The question is based on binomial expansion. Here is the question. Let's begin. The first part of this question is where we need to expand 2 plus px to the power 6. Now, if you look at this, I want to talk about the general formula for binomial expansions. So here we go. I'll just remind you about the general formula for binomial expansions. If we have a plus b to the power n, how would b expanded using the binomial expansion? It would be a to the power n plus n c1 a to the power n minus 1 into b to the power 1. The next term would be n c2 a to the power n minus 2 into b to the power 2. If you notice, when we add all the powers, we should get a 1. So here we should get n. So here this is n minus 1 plus 1 will give you n minus 2 plus 2 will give you n. And they have said in ascending powers of x of the binomial expansion, and they want the first 3 terms. So basically, these are the first 3 terms. So if you look at this, a is equal to, from what we have here, a is equal to 2, and b is equal to, I'll put it in a bracket, px. So if I use the expansion, I get a to the power n, which is a to the power 2 to the power 6. The next term is going to be, remember that n is equal to 6. So it would be 6c1 2 to the power 5 times px plus 6c2 2 to the power 4 times px squared, because they have asked for the first 3 terms. So if I expand that, 2 to the power 6 is 64. 6c1 into 2 to the power 5 will give me 192 times px. 6c2 times 2 to the power 4 will give me 240 p squared x squared. So that is my answer for part A. Now let's move on to part B. So in part B, they have said, given that we have an expression 3 minus half x into 2 plus px to the power 6, and that the coefficient of x squared is minus 3 over 4. Now let's see how we can get coefficient of x squared. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down 3 minus half x, which is 3 minus x over 2. And I'm going to multiply it by the expansion that I got from part A. So that would be 3 minus x over 2 into 64 plus 192 px plus 240 p squared x squared. Now, how do I get x squared? I can get x squared by multiplying a constant times a constant into an x squared term, right? Or I can multiply an x term, right? Or anything with x term into an x term. That is the only way that I can get an x squared. So here I go. I'm going to have 3 into the x squared term. The constant is 3 and the x squared term is 240 p squared x squared. Or I can multiply minus x over 2 into 192 px. So this will be an x term here, and this also will be an x term here. And I have been given that the x term has coefficient minus 3 over 4, right? And then in my next step, I can get rid of the x squared terms. And if I get rid of the x squared terms, I am left with this 3 times 240 p squared minus 192 over p over 2 is equal to minus 3 over 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve what I have. So here we go. Solving what I have. This is 3 over 4, so I'm going to write this 3 over 4. I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 4 so that I can get rid of anything in the denominator. So I end up with 2,880 p squared. Here I have minus 384p, and here, and then I bring the minus 3 to the left-hand side, and I get plus 3. Then I'm going to divide this equation by 3. If I divide it by 3, I end up with this equation, which is 960p squared minus 128p plus 1 equals 0. So that's the quadratic equation. We're going to then factorize it into 2 factors. And we all know from our quadratic equations that we can equate each bracket to 0. So here we have 8p minus 1 equals 0, or we have 120p minus 1 equals 0. And when we do that, we're going to end up with solving each of those equations. So when we solve each of the equations, what do we get? We will have 8p is equal to 1, or we will have 120p is equal to 1. And that's how we end up with p is equal to 1 over 8, or p is equal to 1 over 120. And this is our final answer here. P is 1 over 8, or P is 1 over 120. Those are the possible values of P, because they ask for the values of P. I hope you understood my explanation. That's all for now. Until my next video, this is Maths with Paro. Thank you for watching.